Bad things happen in Philadelphia, and we'll tell you all you need to know about them. This is 1330 AM KROT, Philadelphia's most reliable radio news station.
Welcome back, everyone. It's 1:13 p.m. this Sunday, October 16th. I'm Chris Kennedy bringing you the news, but I have to start with a quick bulletin. Today was the first day since October 7th that I went into the station to do my broadcast. On the way in, I was stopped at 11 different checkpoints and questioned by both local and state police. It appears as though the city of Philadelphia is beginning to crack down on travel. I personally advise all residents of Philadelphia to remain in your homes unless absolutely necessary. If you have family outside of the Philadelphia area and can stay with them, it might be advisable to do so. Aside from being frequently stopped by authorities, it's very eerie to see Philly looking as empty as it does. On to the news. The mayor's office held a press conference last night in response to what appears to be the disappearance of the more vulnerable members of the community. This comes in response to the fact that the homeless population appears to be decreasing significantly in number. City officials claim that they have not been taking any homeless individuals off the streets and into shelters, and shelters have confirmed that they have not taken in scores of homeless in recent days. Homeless individuals interviewed claimed that their friends have been attacked, though these reports remain uncorroborated. City officials announced the implementation of roadblocks throughout the city to restrict all unnecessary travel. This comes in response to 4 men being arrested and charged with bioterrorism by the Bucks County District Attorney's Office after one of them tested positive for symptoms of the novel new illness. This illness is now being referred to as the mortalis infection. This comes as the death count for this illness reaches over 20,000 victims across the country. Of particular interest is that all reported counts of deaths as a result of the mortalis infection have been quickly followed by reports of lockdowns occurring at every hospital where these patients are being treated. Eyewitness reports have noted that every hospital where a lockdown has been imposed has seen an increase of armed National Guardsmen, often forming perimeters to prevent anyone from entering or exiting the hospitals. The United States Army Medical Corps has also increased their presence at these hospitals, sending in an additional 1,000 personnel to assist with the efforts to treat the victims. This comes as welcome news, as the number of infected in Philadelphia surpasses the 10,000 mark. 10,000, is this accurate?
Yeah, just the latest numbers.
Deaths in the Philadelphia region have been reported to have now... This is accurate as well?
Yeah, it's the latest from the CDC. About 10 minutes ago, they
updated. Deaths in the Philadelphia area have been reported to have now surpassed 1,400 fatalities. Between the rising numbers of infections and deaths, as well as the increased military presence, the city of Philadelphia has seen a rise in violent riots. Last night, police clashed with rioters at the intersection of Frankfort and Cotman Avenues after what was initially thought to be a bar fight escalated into an ambush. Police say that they were called to McKenna's bar after receiving reports that the bar was operating outside of curfew hours. Upon arriving at the bar, a group of men rushed the police, attempting to hold them hostage until they received information about their loved ones who are currently patients at St. John's Hospital. After an initial standoff, some of the officers were able to free themselves and a fight broke out between the officers and the men, leading to an aggressive response from police as more than 200 officers arrived at the scene. Do we have verification of this?
Press release from the police commissioner.
33 men were arrested in retaliation to this incident, and police have put out a warrant for the bar's owner regarding what involvement they had in the ambush. The mayor's office swiftly condemned the ambush, stating that there are enough problems in the city without residents causing more. Many residents condemned the mayor, accusing city officials of fueling tensions by not releasing information to the public. As tensions rise across the city, more reports from other cities indicate that the same things are beginning to occur on a national scale. Even worse, reports are now coming from other countries that people are starting to visit hospitals displaying the same symptoms that victims in America displayed at the early stages of the mortalis infection. Information from overseas is currently limited, but will be broadcast as it becomes available. A bit of good news, the FDA has announced that they have made progress in testing food and beverages collected from various stadium concessions vendors. According to initial reports, the food and beverages collected have tested positive for a new contagion, but officials say more testing is needed to determine the exact source or sources of the new contagion. The FDA has also announced that it is cooperating with the CDC to determine exactly what sort of contagion has infected the food, with the hopes that the CDC can begin developing a treatment for the disease. However, the CDC put out a warning saying that the general public should still do everything they can to avoid getting infected, pointing out that when developing vaccines for COVID-19, that it took months to do so, even with all efforts being expedited. They also cautioned that any treatment for a mortalis infection, even if expedited, could take much longer to develop. Due to the ongoing nature of this crisis, we here at 1330 AM KROT have reached out to officials at the CDC. We are pleased to announce that this coming Wednesday, October 19th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be conducting a phone interview with Dr. James Ashford regarding information considered vital to public health and safety. I encourage all of our listeners to tune into that interview, as the information may be vital to your health. Now, before we take a commercial break, we have been requested to play a message on behalf of the governor's office.
To the citizens of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, please heed the following message. This is Governor Spencer, speaking in regard to the current crisis affecting people across our great state, as well as our great nation. To residents in the heavily infected areas, including Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, please remain in your homes. My office is organizing all available resources to support your cities and prevent the spread of the mortalis infection. Please cooperate with the local officials to prevent the spread of the mortalis infection. As to the residents of areas outside of Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, please continue to take precautions when leaving your homes. If you suspect anyone of being infected, please report it to the statewide health line. This is not a time to cover up the infection because you want to help a friend, a neighbor, a relative, or anyone close to you. Covering for anyone potentially infected by mortalis condemns them to a certain death and risk infecting others who come in contact with them. We must face this health crisis together or risk succumbing to it. We weathered the storm visited upon us by COVID-19, and I'm sure that we can do it again with mortalis. We are Pennsylvanians, and we are strong.